Hello, everyone. My name is Gustavo Hinojosa Jr. I am the director for the National Cybersecurity Student Association. I'd like to thank everybody for coming today to the webcast. So today's presenter is Rhonda Farrell with CyberSteam and Global Innovation Alliance, and her presentation will be on branding trends and career moves in the AI era. So at this time, I'm going to pass over to Rhonda, and I hope you enjoy the webcast.
Thank you so much, Gus, and thank you for NCSA and for NCC for this opportunity. So good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to Claim Your Cyber Seat Branding Trends and Career Moves in the AI Era. I'm thrilled to be here with you today. And you, no matter whether you're just a student who's starting out in the industry or exploring new cyber opportunities, a transitioning veteran, or an emerging professional, really looking how to build visibility and direction and momentum through cyber and AI in this very competitive cyber market today is about giving you practical strategies to stand out, adapt, and thrive. The cybersecurity workforce is growing, but so is the competition. AI is navigating roles at lightning speed and changing it. Certifications are evolving. Employers are reshaping roles at lightning speed. And they're asking for both hard skills and the ability to tell a clear story about who you are, and most of all, what you bring to their mission space. So that's where we're going today. Branding, workforce trends, frameworks, and how you can turn complexity into opportunity and navigate the cybersecurity landscape with confidence. So before we dive in, I really want to ground us today in the big picture, because cybersecurity today is no longer just about technical skills. It's very much about how you position yourself in an AI-driven environment. Your brand, the strategies you use, and most of all, your adaptability to change are going to be the real differentiators that shape your career trajectory. So this session is built to give you practical tools, information on frameworks like NICE, updates to the certification pathways, and the latest AI-enhanced strategies for building visibility, credibility, and capability. My goal today is to show you how to make career moves that stick, so that you're not just chasing certs, but crafting a resilient career narrative that puts you in control of your own cyber future. So we have to visit the cybersecurity context at this point in time, because when most people think about cybersecurity, they think of infrastructure, firewalls, SOC alerts, pen testing, etc. And the simple truth is, technical skills are going to open the door for your next opportunity and going into the future. But it's your brand that you build that's going to determine how far you're going to go once you're inside the room. Oftentimes, people don't think about the branding aspect. They're so busy with the practical applications, the cert building, etc., that they forget that in cyber, your personal brand is very important to your career currency. It's ultimately what sets you apart from everyone else. It helps you to create career opportunities and signals to others that you're not just technically capable, you are someone who can be trusted to lead, adapt, and innovate within this very important space. So that too is what this session is about. Showing with you and sharing with you how to make career moves that actually stick in the AI era. So why does branding matter so much in cybersecurity right now? Well, branding isn't just about colors and logos. And of course, our marketers might ask us to restate that sentence so it's more inclusive of them. But for our purposes today, we're going to say branding is more about the creation and sustainment of your professional identity. So what do people think of when they see you? That's what we really need to craft, is that story on your behalf, that cyber journey that you're taking, no matter where you are along that journey. So we need to understand how to seed digitally a cyber professional identity that's strong within LinkedIn. We need to understand what might come to mind when someone hears your name in a hiring meeting, right? So that hiring manager is probably looking for, what are you doing from a visibility perspective? What are you doing from a capability perspective? And what are you doing from a capability perspective? So on the digital or in the brand offering, if you will, that you're going to be thinking about creating, we need to focus on each of those areas. We call them the facets of you as the cyber diamond, right? Digital presence. We need to be thinking about LinkedIn, GitHub, Medium articles, conference talks, and how even you might be engaging in Discord or Slack communities, right? Are you raising pertinent and relevant questions and issues? Are you talking about things that are happening globally in the cyber space that matters most to you? Are you able to be the answer to someone's problem? That's really what they're looking for. A, awareness, B, engagement, C, knowledge and skill building that you're doing on behalf of others, and D and E, really aligning to that global conversation that's occurring in the cyberspace and anchoring in how you're the expert that could help them move forward in a certain mission area or solve a certain problems. So in the AI era, this elevation to make yourself have more professional street cred from a cyber perspective is more important than ever. And so how do we go about doing that if we want to elevate our professional identity? Well, we can, additionally to our digital presence, we can look at credibility signals. So that might be the earning of a certification or the earning of a badge, published thought leadership that you're writing on an ongoing basis. So we don't want it to be a one and done with you with regard to tackling a certain cyber challenge or opportunity. We want you to really consider, how can I get in front of hiring managers, executives, other global thought leaders with information that's not just talking about the problems, but providing some solidified and innovative ways forward. That may be from a technology perspective, that may be from a workforce perspective, that may be from a process or infrastructure perspective, and that might be from a policy perspective. There's lots of different ways to package up cyber information to make it meaningful and impactful for multiple audiences. And we want to make sure that you're able to drive visible participation across the plethora of professional networks available to you. The last point is narrative consistency. So what we're talking about here is, does your resume, your elevator pitch, and your online posts or thought leadership really hone in on bolstering the same cyber journey? Or does it sound like many different professional lives to people, right? Why does this matter? Because when you have clarity and alignment in your story and your messaging, then you get performance from an engagement and an impact and an elevation from external community members that are willing to raise you up and highlight perhaps something you said, something you noted, or something you solved. So all of these together build your credibility, especially in the fast-moving pace of the cyber AI era. Recruiters are using AI-driven tools to scan your online presences. So if your digital footprint doesn't tell the right story for where you are at this point in time, you may never even make it to the interview stage. So we want you to think of your brand as your cyber identity. If you don't define it, someone else may. So again, your LinkedIn profile, anything that's in GitHub repos, your conference talks, mine those for gold nuggets and share those out in your virtual communities to drive greater awareness and impact. So some of our additional session goals today is to, again, help you build that cyber identity with AI tools, mapping your path with NICE. So in regard to building your cyber identity with AI tools, the first would be what Gus and I were talking about earlier. We need to learn how to use AI platforms to polish your resume, to optimize your LinkedIn profile, and ultimately to showcase your skills in ways that stand out to recruiters and hiring managers. Mapping your path with NICE, and really a little bit of a discussion about our upcoming certification changes or what recently happened. So we need you to understand how the latest updates to the NICE framework can serve you and what the recent changes in certification requirements actually opened up from a career opportunity perspective. It affects your career planning roadmap, and as well offers you multiple opportunities to align your career goals with what's happening. So if we talk about it through the lens of Wayne Gretzky, we don't want to skate to where the puck is. We want to use NICE and these certification changes that occurred to skate to where the puck is going to be, so that you match either your graduation date or your onboarding date with a seminal need in cyber meets AI. So we're also going to talk about hot roles that are occurring in 2025 in these cyber and AI areas. It helps us get a clearer view of fastest growing roles that are being shaped by AI and automation, from AI-driven SOC analysts to adversarial AI testers and cyber resilience engineers. If we look at exploring alternative career entry points, we're going to discover pathways beyond traditional degrees. And these can include apprenticeships, micro-internships, many different hackathon areas, and competency-based hiring that values skills over titles. In the crafting a powerful narrative for employers, building a career story that demonstrates your adaptability, relevance, and readiness to lead in the AI-shaped era is going to be most important. So we're going to be talking about the different ways you can think about putting this and building it into your digital identification, as well as how to use them to craft a very powerful AI cyber story going forward. So what are the trends to watch that we have to be cognizant of when we're building out this digital identity in our professional cyber AI identity and crafting our story. So let's zoom out a bit. What does the cybersecurity job market actually look like now and going forward? Well, recent research shows that there are nearly 4 million open cyber roles across the globe. And CyberSeek is focusing on about 600,000 of those that are currently high priority, unfilled positions just within the US alone. But not all cyber jobs are going to be created equal. There are some very fast growth areas for 2025 and beyond that may help you better choose your educational path, choose your certification or badging, or your thought leadership journey forward. That the first and foremost is really AI-driven security. And that's where we need to be thinking about, or where they are thinking about, adversarial AI testing, AI model assurance, and prompt injection defenses, right? So if we want to understand how AI is transforming these truly what we would call traditional security roles and building efficiencies through AI-driven knowledge and further automation activities, you need to be on top of your game, not only to explain what those technologies are that are underneath the cover of supplying that cyber mission-driven functionality. You need to understand how can you harness it as an opportunity for your own growth. Again, no cyber roles are created equal because not all of them are going to be of interest to you, nor perhaps provide you your cyber career growth opportunity going forward. So a little bit of understanding of what's on the roadmap for 2025 and beyond, matching with your core skills and strengths, as well as what the communities offer with regard to thought leadership, conference harnessing, et cetera, is going to give you that best path forward. So it's not just to look at one aspect, rack and stack and weight the different opportunities we're talking about to understand how they fulfill a future cyber opportunity or further growth, specifically given your goals and the outcomes you're seeking career-wise. Next would be to look at offensive and defensive hybrid cyber ops. So cyber threat hunters who understand red team tactics and blue team defense are going to be more valuable because then you see all three sides of that coin. In the cyber analytics area, people who can take massive data sets, apply machine learning and AI, and detect anomalies faster are going to be key to future states' SOC models that they're currently building out, right? We have so many commercial and state, local, and federal government infrastructures that are focused on this area. If this is a key interest area for you, it's growing like hotcakes. In the privacy engineering area, roles that embed privacy protections into products, especially as the AI systems consume greater amounts of personal data and as they mine it and output recommendations and or even take automated actions are going to be very important in this privacy area. The last thing we want to do is to amplify either the attack surface or to engage in activities that are going to heighten our breach risk. So key to understanding the risks underlying the technology and that all of AI and automation enabled cyber offer within our organizations. And then last but not least is quantum ready cryptographers. So we are preparing for a post-quantum transition, and we need to really understand what that means, because it's even leading the threat base as we fully understand it to date. So again, they're already skating to where the puck will be, and we as practitioners, as policymakers, as thought leaders really need to understand what is the problem space today, but what is it going to look like? What is the opportunity space and a deeper challenge space looking forward as we're harnessing these key emerging technologies? So what's interesting about this is how traditional cyber roles are blending with emerging technology skills. An AI network engineer today might need to now understand AI traffic anomalies. A malware analyst may need to use and leverage LLMs to rapidly reverse engineer samples. This means that you just don't need technical depth. You're going to need heightened adaptability given the innovative rate of change that is occurring today. And we're also seeing more and more crossover roles, as you can see on the screen. AI security engineers, prompt injection analysts, cyber threat hunters with machine learning skills, and privacy engineers that are embedded in the product teams themselves. These hybrid roles mean that you need both a foundation in cybersecurity and adaptability to this emerging tech area. So we're seeing more organizations open doors through badges, micro-internships, and apprenticeships instead of requiring just traditional 4-year degree or years of experience up front. And so we want you to drive awareness on this, because it's critical to making cyber careers more accessible, more skills focused, and more aligned with how fast the field is changing. Employers are starting to ask, can you demonstrate capability in a real world setting? Not just, do you have the diploma? So we need you to drive awareness on, again, these opportunities that are existing in these realms. So what are the hot key roles? We've talked about some of the trends, the emerging mashups, etc. But let's look specifically at hot roles for 2025 and beyond. There is AI-driven SOC analyst. There are adversarial AI testers. There are cloud and identity resilience engineers. There are cyber threat intelligence and AI ops, and then heightened governance, risk, and compliance with AI oversight. How do we even begin to parse out what these mean? And it's lucky because we have a phenomenal tool in the NICE framework to put into your toolkit. So if you are not familiar with the NICE framework, think of it as a GPS for your cyber career. It defines key capability spaces in the cyber arena. It maps out roles and task, knowledge, and skills across the cyber ecosystem. So the competency areas is really what you're going to be looking at to see how cyber is carved out within any type of organizational setting. And this really helps from a big picture perspective, understand what immediately resonates with you. So it truly is your GPS for your cyber career, because it tells you, am I a policy person? Am I a process person? Am I a workforce and leadership? Or might I fall into the technology spaces? And this gives you not only the name of the competency area, but a wonderfully deep description so that you can understand what piques your interest so you can explore more. Why is it so important? Because A, it's underutilized by a lot of your co-competitive candidates, right? You want to be able to stand out. And so when you can speak to the NICE framework competency areas, speak to the work roles that are identified them, you're going to be mapping to federal government as well as commercial and perhaps a local entity taxonomies in this cyberspace. So putting that in really simple terms, you're going to be able to speak their language from a competency and capability area, from a role perspective, as well as getting into the task, knowledge, and skills that are most important for each of those areas. They break it out nice and easy for you in a very interactive dashboard so that you can explore at your leisure. Again, review the competencies areas, deep dive on the ones that are most interesting to you, and really harness and utilize this to create a career map for you going forward. So here's how we use it. You might want to look at your current skills and match them to how the NICE knowledge, skills, and abilities, or tasks, knowledge, and skills rack and stack against cyber roles. That's one way, right? Bottom up way is to take where you're at today from a current skills and strengths, map them to what's possible in the NICE framework from a work role perspective, so that you can open up the aperture with regard to what's possible for you going forward. Next is to find the gaps. What if you find that there's a work role that you found that you are really interested in, but maybe you don't have full coverage across the task, knowledge, and skills? Well, that's great, because now you found a gap and it can provide a roadmap for you to level up so that you can build up your strengths and capabilities in that area. Perhaps you might have technical knowledge, but perhaps you need to beef up just a little bit in the risk management areas. It's going to help you identify what those are and give you some resource pointers that will help you move forward. It's also going to help you identify potential alternative roles where you can get more maximum coverage given your current knowledge, strengths, and skills. So another thing it helps you do is it helps you, again, that with that work role pivot, where can your skills transfer to or between roles across the framework writ large? So maybe you start out as thinking of yourself as aligning to a SOC analyst, but by mining this tool and focusing on your forensic skills, now you can see that you can pivot perhaps to an incident response area if that's of high interest to you. What we want to do is open up the aperture of opportunity. We want you to see how your skills, strengths, and knowledge can be modular and reusable across different areas of the cyber life cycle and framework. Last, again, as I noted before, you can heighten your LinkedIn profile, your thought leadership, the responses that you're given in these different communities, or the challenges that you're seeking to solve by speaking the language. This is not only a taxonomy to help you understand burgeoning new areas, but it gives you a lexicon that you can pull from and embed in each of these areas so that the AI mining tools can pick up those key words so that you can rank and stack higher in the AI-enabled analysis. You can also use them in your interviews and your resumes to stand out as a high-level candidate. So if you just take one nice work role and turn it into a professional syllabus for yourself, perhaps you want to look over the next 1, 3, or 6 months how to tackle it through the tasks, knowledge, and skills align. Is there labs you can undertake? Is there projects that you can ask to collaborate or participate in? Or are there certifications that you can learn or badges that you can earn to make you strong in all of the areas of your cyber diamond? So what are the frameworks, the additional frameworks that can help guide you going forward? We talked about the career roadmaps being nice, role mapping, upskilling, and really pivoting where you need to. But another big change is especially for the federal world, is they transition from DoD 8570 Information Assurance Workforce Improvement Program to the release of a DoD manual, and that's DODM 8140.03, Cyberspace Workforce Qualification and Management Program. That occurred in 2023, and that continues to evolve over time. What does that cyber policy series give you is that it's opened the apertures to the certification pathways. Not only do you have the traditional routes, but they've embedded badging, micro-internships, and apprenticeships to helping you get to where you need to be. They are expanded the certification realm to earning what they call your golden ticket, which is really having you be meet certain requirements for roles at the IAM level 1 and level 3 areas, and opening up the aperture for ways that you can get there through the education and certification pathway. So if you're not familiar with that jumble of instructions and manuals that I just gave you, if you Google Cyber Workforce Qualification and Management Program policy changes, you're going to see and find the certification pathways. It's very complex with the number of vendors and opportunities that you have available. You can see just a little bit on the right-hand side what I'm talking about. It's a very deep and very detailed look that you can get by looking online. And you can see what is going to be the best badging and certification pathway forward for yourself. There's also many resources that are available for you. So say you're not to the certification area yet, you need some hands-on experience. Well, you can Google badging, micro-internships, and apprenticeships to help you understand who in the federal government and who in the nonprofit world and who in the academic world are partnering together to help create these opportunities for you to earn your cyber credentials step by step, so that again, you can build up your professional cyber credibility over time. So what they really want to do is make cyber careers more accessible. They want to make them more skills focused, and they want to make them more aligned with how the field is changing. Employers are very much starting to ask, how can our candidates demonstrate capability in a real world setting? not only do you have a certain diploma or a certain certification, and what this means for you is that there's enhanced opportunity. There are more entry points for you so that you may perhaps take on a short range project internship or earn a very highly recognized badge or undertake an apprenticeship that can serve as a powerful proof of your readiness to contribute, oftentimes even very much faster than a traditional academic pathway alone. So again, we are going to look at the career roadmaps and compliance area. We're going to meld them with an AI enhanced career strategy, which enables you to really update your personal resume for AI and cyber optimization. And again, using that NICE and other cyber lexicon that exists out on the NIST portal to help you identify and insert keywords that are going to amplify the AI enabled analytics for job matching. And then again, lastly is this we ask you to explore what simulation-based learning, again, I spoke about that, demonstrating capability in a real world setting. And sometimes that's through the lens of an AI-enabled portal that allows you to master certain cyber skills and or scenarios given real world global scenarios. So all of those together are going to help you move forward. So we've talked about the opportunity space today. We've talked about how you can approach that using the NICE framework and identifying how you want to position yourself through the open doors. Is it badging, micro internships, apprenticeships, credential building, or just you already have those and perhaps a certification, and now you want to focus on deeper dive skill building? But you need to tell that story of yourself, where you came from, where you want to go, and where you're at currently. And the way we do that is through branding in the AI area, because again, we want to focus on the fact that your brand, your professional cyber identity, is your currency to moving forward in a rapid and impactful manner. So we look at these three different areas. The same AI that is changing cyber jobs can also help you land the jobs, because tools like ChatGPT, Claude, and Copilot can help you in writing a stronger resume. They can help you in prepping for interviews. They can help you in even generating practice scenarios for your technical assessments. Remember, though, that AI should enhance your story, not replace it. Employers still want to understand your perspective, not a chat box perspective. So use AI to scale your own credibility, not necessarily to automate your full cyber digital identity. So let's talk about how AI can be seen not as a threat, but more so your own personal accelerator to success. Again, we talked about how it can level up your resumes and your cover letters by aligning language to key cyber job postings. But we also can leverage it for many other different areas. And that is preparing for interviews. Again, generating mock questions. And the way we can do that is go back to that NICE framework or ingest your job descriptions and have it generate 1 to 10 mock interview questions. You can practice scenarios like red teaming, blue teaming exercises where AI actually simulates the attacker behavior. And most of all, you can stay informed because AI can summarize very long reports like the National Cybersecurity Strategy in seconds. So you can walk into interviews with fresh policy level awareness that allows you to speak to how the technology or your technical skills help to answer that policy level focus area. And again, we want you to think of AI as your research assistants, not necessarily your entire spokesperson. So again, focus on your portfolio, focus on the storytelling around where you're currently at, where you've been, but most of all, where you want to head to. Have it identify 3 key areas that you can publish a thought leadership piece in, 3 key conferences that you may be able to join, even if it's from a volunteer perspective, to get you the surround sound from potential networking and mentorship and champions and advocates. Every single step forward you take is going to help you along your career journey. And then again, networking is really shifting to this integrated hybrid, part human, peer-to-peer discussions and FaceTime in conferences, in these Zoom links to these more AI-powered ecosystems that you can leverage to help build your brand. So don't leave a tool in your toolkit that's unused. We're asking you to use all of them that are available to help you position yourself most strategically as the strongest cyber candidate going forward. So when we think about navigating certifications going forward, again, we shared with you the changing landscape. Those frameworks are really do dictate which certifications are required for certain cyber positions. And the latest updates to those instructions, manuals, and directives give you a great roadmap for moving forward. What we need to do is align that with the NICE framework, because especially if you're a student, this is critical because it will help you more easily plan your certification pathway from early stages to get you visibility to meet later compliance for both government and contractor roles. So for those, again, who are targeting government related roles, or if you want to be a government contractor, that DOD 8570, 8140 instruction area is key for you to understand what is going to be your golden ticket in. For others, you can look at that as guidance because it too explains what the key certifications are that they're deeming uber important, and it can help you align. So DOD 8570 and DOD instruction 8140 will help you move forward if you Google that. And again, the key points that I want to make here is it's broader certification recognition, right? Really broadening the areas of opportunity for you because they're including more certs that are inclusive of cloud and AI that count towards compliance. There is a closer NICE alignment, so they are directly mapping to NICE work roles, which means you can chart a stronger career path forward. And for role expansion, emerging job categories that will, like vulnerability assessment analyst, cloud security specialists, et cetera, are being more formally recognized. So again, ask yourself, using the manual, directives, and instructions, which roles interest me the most. You map them to the NICE framework roles, and then you can invest your time, your education, and your certification in investments more strategically to position yourself upon graduation or building a bridge to federal government or federal government contractor eligibility. So again, not all cyber roles need all of those at the early stages. And so what they've done in order to be able to answer the mail on the creation or building of cyber expertise across many different realms is to create alternative entry points into cybersecurity arena. So we have micro-internships, which are 2 to 6 weeks project-based opportunities. We have competency-based hiring, which is badges, cert first, and skill proofs. We have apprenticeships and fellowships, which really allow you to earn while you learn. And we have hackathons and cyber ranges that allow you to demonstrate ability in real time. Not everyone follows the degree then job path anymore. And so cybersecurity melded with AI is one of these few fields where alternative routes are just exploding. These really allow you to show your employees what you've learned, and more so about how you prove and demonstrate capabilities in these key areas. So again, apprenticeships, micro-internships, search first hirings, badging and micro credentials, and then these hybrid education areas, which is a combination of boot camps, online labs, and competency-based assessments. The key takeaway here is you don't have to wait for permission to enter the cybersecurity fields. You could, I'm sure, in most of your areas of expertise, just even what you've learned from life itself, you're building competency and showing proof. And now you just need to position yourself through cyber digital identification so that the doors can open for your next step. So what do we need to be thinking about when we're crafting our career narrative? Well, the first thing we need to understand is that employers hire stories, not just skills. So we need to pull it all together. We need to take into consideration our technical skills, our branding, our specific pathway knowledge, because all of that aligns up to your personal narrative. It's not just about your resume. It's really about the story you tell to help you position yourself and explain who you are and why that matters to the particular employer's mission space. So what can you do to really, how can you think about this to position yourself well? And this is really more than a resume story. Again, it's a resume summary. It's the story you tell about why you exist in this field in the first place. So we need to ask yourself, we need you to ask yourself, what brought you to the field of cybersecurity? What problems do you most want to solve? And how do my skills align with the majority of the employers today? Again, we've given you tools in the toolkit to help you answer that. So an example of a narrative that you can use is, I'm a Marine veteran transitioning into cyber defense, blending my real world operations experience with new AI-driven skills and threat hunting. My focus is on protecting national security assets from emerging adversarial AI threats. If you look at that, that's not just me stating skills. That's a story. That's a stickiness. That's memorable because employers remember stories. We want you to craft your narrative to align with high demand roles. And suddenly you become not just another applicant, you're a laser targeted, mission oriented candidate of choice. So what is the call to action, each and every one of you? We don't want you to compete. We want you to claim your cyber seat because you and your brand are unique, and we want you to build it with intention. We want you to use the tools in the toolkit we've given you today to make the smart move, to position yourself for the AI-shaped future of cyber. And one of the great ways is to reinforce your cyber identity by plugging into communities such as this, the NCSA, NICE, the CACD networks, and our Cyber and STEAM Global Innovation Alliance. Because the major point is careers do not happen in isolation. These networks do not just give you a resume line. They are truly your accelerators for opportunity. They connect you to mentors, internship, and thought leadership opportunities. They enable visibility for you. They offer opportunities for you to work on collaborative projects that accelerate not only your learning, but heighten your credibility. Your community that you choose to be a part of is a facet in your brand. So choose them wisely and engage with them actively. So let's give you a roadmap for what to undertake after this session ends today. First of all, audit your digital brand. Does it truly reflect your target role that you're most interested in? Map yourself against the NICE framework and identify one primary NICE role to go after, and identify one skill gap that you want to close. You might want to identify one AI tool that you're going to start using for your career development purposes. Test it also for job prep and/or research purposes so that you can get that holistic 360 accelerant. Explore the certification charts and pick your next certification. Explore one alternative pathway, an apprenticeship, a badge, a micro-internship. And then lastly, write your personal narrative and test it out with a peer or a mentor. Remember, no one hands you a seat in cyber. You have to claim it by being intentional, visible, and strategic. So thank you so much. Today we've covered branding, workforce trends, certification, frameworks, and pathways. Now I'd love to hear from you. What questions might you have about cyber careers, AI, or building your narrative? Because that's the roadmap forward. Understanding brand building, the workforce trends, the frameworks, certifications, and the pathways for you to gain greater cyber success. So I'll ask you, I guess, to open it up for the chat to share with me any questions our students might have had or our attendees might have had, please.
So one of the questions is, are there any special certifications you recommend for students starting out in cyber?
So I think what we're seeing from a trend perspective, Gus, and the people on the line is, certifications take money, certifications take time, and certifications will take multiple stepping stones to get you there. So I'm going to be certification agnostic today because there are many depending on your roles. What I will guide you towards is that look at those certification journey maps, if you will, get a better understanding of the cyber roles you're most interested in. What kind of industry outcome do you want? Do you want to be in federal government? Do you want to be a federal government contractor? Do you want to go into commercial? Because all of those are going to factor into the certification choices. And then lastly, I want to say, look into nonprofit organizations that will help pave the way to certification gain on your end, i.e. there are corporations and nonprofit organizations that will help sponsor a certification for you on behalf of a employer who is interested in you as a potential candidate, right? So think the long game, look at the role, look at the industry segment, look at the certification that's going to best give you, and then talk to Gus and others about what types of funding opportunities exist to help you earn those badges or internships or certifications going forward. I think that will be your best guide forward.
You have any other questions?
No, this is Sam Nixon. Greetings to you. Thank you very much for your information. One of my questions is, if you're considering cybersecurity preparation in the global setting, in the context of wanting to do whatever area that you're interested in, and you're thinking about the global aspects, what would be your advisement in terms of how to prepare in a way that, as you're looking at standards and practices in other countries that you may be interested in working in, how to maybe develop a good sound foundation for getting into a track that can lead to opening up opportunities to work across international boundaries in the area of cybersecurity?
Thank you, Sam. That is a phenomenal question, because right now we're seeing a sea change. So prior, the NICE framework as codified in NIST provided those capability areas, work roles, the tasks, knowledge, and skills that were being harnessed and utilized not only domestically but globally. Currently, in especially the European area, they are looking at changing the cyber models up from a workforce qualification and an assessment perspective. So that is the primary one that I'm aware of. So I don't want to say it's going to be a complete revolutionary change, but they are looking at making a framework that is more domestically focused on the European area, as opposed to harnessing NICE and the NIST codification from a global international arena. Another one you can look at is ENISA, right? That's one of our global cyber organizations that oftentimes leads with regard to policy changes, frameworks, methodologies, etc. But I think if you Google European cyber workforce models, frameworks, and assessment methodologies compared to US, then you're going to get a good handle on the sea change that's occurring, Sam. But you should be in good standing from harnessing the NIST NICE as a baseline modular framework from which to work on, because I think they're still going to be using in large part that as the basis going forward, Sam. And to your last point about certifications, you already have the majority of the certification providers being worldwide. So you don't have to necessarily worry about a certification not being accepted in another area, because the majority of them already have global consensus built out through that certifying body, if you will. They're steeped in standards, which are global standards, and they're embodied in global certifications that are accepted across many countries in the world.
Okay, thank you. And could you, if you don't mind, just repeat that European, you were saying to look at the European something.
ENISA, ENISA. Oftentimes they have really a leading thought leadership with what's going on in that part of the world and can help you, Sam.
Okay, thank you very much then. Appreciate that.
Well, that's our time for today. I'd like to thank everybody for joining our webcast today. We will be recording it, where we are recording it. We're going to send it out via email for those who attended, put it on our YouTube page, and send out an email also in the CyberWatch communicator. So thank you, Rhonda, for giving the wonderful presentation today. And if you have any questions, you guys could feel free to email me. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you, Gus. Thank you, NCSA, and thank you, NCC.
No problem.